and welcome to Movie Night with Ebba and
Linnea.
We watched a little movie tonight called
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not the favorite movie, but one of my favorite movies of all time. So, yeah.
It's from 1975
Yes.
and it stars Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon and a cameo by Meatloaf. So,
Yes.
star-studded movie indeed. So, do you want to run us by the story real quick?
The story? Does it have a story?
Yeah, it's almost a punishment to try and describe whatever this is about.
Okay, so we have a couple, Brad and Janet. They are newly engaged and they are trying to get to an old friend of them called Dr. Scott, but they get lost on the way and they have a flat tire, so they end up at this weird castle and they knock on the door and says, "Can we borrow your phone?" But Brad and Janet meet a lot of crazy people in this castle and then they just have an adventure.
Yeah, and there's a lot of singing.
Lots of singing.
Lots of emotions and very self-discovery type of movie.
Definitely.
I guess. Yeah, I think it's gonna be quite spoilery.
Very spoilery.
Yeah, we both, I think, recommend you going and watching it if you haven't, and coming back to listen to our discussion. So.
Yes. What was your first impression of it?
I didn't know too much. I've only seen like a few, basically like shots, and I also recognized some of the music as it played. And I was like, oh, okay, this is where it's from.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it. I really understand why it's a cult classic and why it's influenced so many movies and artists, and why it's a document of the time, I guess. And I also really enjoyed the fact that I never knew what was going to happen. I couldn't tell. I couldn't possibly tell where it was going.
Yeah, it's not a very predictable film.
No, it does. If you listen to, which you pointed out to me before we were starting to watch the movie, you said, well, pay mind to the first song that's playing during the credits, or no, well, do you call it the credits when it's in the beginning?
Yeah, I would call it the credits.
Yeah. And when you do that, you sort of get the whole, oh, okay, so it's a double feature, so we're not gonna have just one monster or whatever you want to call it. We're gonna have at least two, and it's gonna be mashups because they're singing about a bunch of different movies with different themes and different genres.
Yeah, the song that you're talking about is called Science Fiction Double Feature, and there's a whole bunch of references there to movies which I've seen and I like Forbidden Planet, which we've seen together, Day the Earth Stood Still, King Kong, It Came From Outer Space, and this is just like, oh, I know these movies. Yes.
So just based on that, if you listen to it, you guess, oh, well, I can see where this is going, kind of. But you really can't. But you really can't. So yeah, I liked it. It was really fun, and it's an experience to watch. And your thoughts? I mean, you've seen it a number of times.
Yes.
When was the first time you saw it?
The first time was in 2009, when I was 19 and I had just moved away from my parents. And I was living with a bunch of other students in a pretty big house. And we had a big Halloween party and everyone was so drunk, including me. And someone said, we should watch this film, and I had no idea what film it was. And we put it on, and it was just such a weird experience. But it left a mark on me, but it took quite a while for me to actually figure out what movie I had seen. But when I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, I was like, oh yes, time warp, I remember this! And I love it so much! So yeah, it was a great experience, definitely. And I love the music in the film. I love it. Time warp is fantastic. And also some of the others, Damn It Janet, which is in the beginning. Touch It, Touch It, Touch Me, also a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had that in my head just a while ago, and I was like, oh, but now I can't remember it though. But it was stuck.
touch me, I wanna be tired. It's something like that. Yeah.
Whatever. It was stuck in.
I mean,
there.
I can't.
Now it's gone,
I can't sing, so
yeah.
there's
Oh,
that.
you sang. You just don't know if it was good or bad. No, okay.
Sweet Transvestite is also a good song.
Yes. No. Well, that's the
first one
the
with
first with
Curry.
Curry. Yeah. And also like his just his presence in this movie. I think any lesser actor would have been it would have been a blow to this movie. So he really he carries the movie in a way. It's just excellent casting. Excellent.
I think all of the actors.
Oh
are
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Tim Curry is.
But it's just because it's almost like he was born to do that role. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, of course, he is this person. It was so good. And I also liked the parts when he was singing. I don't know if, well, you said it was his voice, right? So.
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe I think most of the actors are the actual singers. The only one I'm not sure about is Brad and Janet, Susan Sarandon and whatever his name. Yeah, I don't remember his name. I'm not sure about those, but the other cast, I think, are the actual singers. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, he was just great, I think. So what do you think of, because the story is so strange, and because it's hard to explain what it's about, what do you think of it though? Can you even have an opinion on this, or is it just things happening but they're really good, so you don't really pay attention to the fact that it might be a bit dark to understand? You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. What's your point of view on that?
Well, it is such a crazy story, and it is just sort of crazy thing happening, and then another crazy thing happening. It sort of leads into something, but it doesn't follow the kind of story structure that we are used to. Which I can see how that can be a challenge, why you would find it difficult and why you may not like the film because of that. Yeah. But I like it because it just really does its own thing, and I like it because it sort of challenges what we think of as story structure, and I don't. It is not the easiest story to follow, but the point really isn't the story. Yeah. It's more the crazy events in themselves, and I really enjoy those. So the story is just sort of extra bonus.
Yeah. I agree with you. Part when Frank M. Furter, Tim Curry's character, he resurrects this Adonis of a man, very ripped and very beautiful. And, Rocky, exactly. Hence the name of the movie. But I mean, that whole musical scene, that whole scene is very entertaining, because then you have Rocky being introduced to these, well, not introduced, but he's gifted with these presents that are basically like weights, lifting weights things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's running around, and he's like, and then at one point Frank mentions muscles in a different discussion, but still the same room, same scene and everything, and he's just there like this, and it's hilarious. There's tiny things like that happening all the time in this movie, and that's why it's great, because you don't know when it's gonna happen, and then it's there, and it's like, what?
I pointed out to you in the beginning, because it starts with a wedding, and like the priest and a couple of the sort of church persons in the background are actually Tim Curry and the others, and I was like, pay attention to that, because those are the guys we're going to meet.
And I wouldn't have noticed, but as soon as you said, oh, notice the guy, and I was like, oh, it's Tim Curry. I was like, oh, that's so funny. So, I mean, I'm guessing, like, if I were to rewatch this, like, 1 or 2 times more, I'd find a lot of things going on in the background, and tiny details like that are just really funny once you notice them. And I think that just adds to the whole universe that this is living in, this sort of strange monster genre, whatever mashup of wondrous things.
Yeah, I mean, I think really the best way to describe it is it's a cult film.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why it's a cult film, I think. Have you seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. As usual, like and subscribe, and we will see you again soon. Bye bye.